All right, welcome, girls. Are you enjoying the Iowa weather?
No.
No. So we're here with the girls from Niacc. All three are from Florida. Would you introduce yourselves, where you're from in Florida, and then what year in school you are?
My name's Lily Powell. I'm from Gulf Breeze, and I'm a freshman here at Niacc.
My name is Emalee Douglass. I'm from St. Cloud, Florida. I went to Harmony High School, and I'm also a freshman.
My name is Keira Suro. I went to Osceola High School, but I am a sophomore this year at Niacc. And yeah,
Awesome. So how long have each of you been wrestling?
I've been wrestling since sixth grade, so around 7 years.
I've been wrestling since my sophomore year, so this is my fourth year.
Uh-huh.
I've been wrestling since my junior year of high school, so this is around like my fifth year.
Yeah, so you got kind of a late start and still competing in college. That's awesome. I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's great. Um, the whole idea of this is kind of to highlight the JUCO experience. I want to make sure that people know that it's out there
Mhm.
and what brought you, why do you think you started looking at two-year schools? What was it about that?
Me personally, me and Kira both started pretty late. And I think JUCO was just a good way to kind of transition more smooth to higher level wrestling. Obviously we don't have that many years of experience under our belt. So, going from high school into JUCO was kind of I think an easier transfer and a way to sharpen our skills more.
Um, I was originally committed to a different four-year school,
Okay.
and it turned out that the financials was a big part of that, and I just couldn't afford that, so I started looking at more JUCO options, and I came here.
Nice.
I had a similar situation to what Lily described, like four-year school and everything. Um, and I had a friend reach out that she was here first, and she kind of told me about the JUCO experience and hearing how it would be a better financial situation and a transition period that would be easier, and like maybe other 4 years later on could kind of see like, oh, these people have like commitment already. So
Yeah. No, that's great because yeah, it's sometimes tough to swallow that. Especially most of them are Division III schools that maybe don't offer scholarships for athletics.
yeah,
Your grades dictate that stuff, but most of them are private schools, 40 plus
Yeah.
$1,000 a year plus
yeah.
maybe some add-ons. So yeah, it's expensive and stuff. So that's really really cool. What brought you to Niacc? What was it about Niacc that appealed to you?
Well, I got connected through some coaches, and I originally started looking at the school, and I saw the campus. I thought it was really nice, and I knew some of the coaches through other connections, so I knew it was a good program, and so I decided to come.
Nice.
Um, Basil, our head coach, is from Florida as well. So he knew my high school coach, because him and his sons had wrestled together. So my coach kind of put us into contact, and I was like, well, if my high school coach trusts him, then so do I.
Yeah, yeah. No, and you had a good high school coach and stuff. So
Mhm.
I actually have a Harmony High School wrestling T-shirt too.
That's
So
awesome.
and I believe is it Central. I have the Longhorn shirt. I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
club shirt or the high school
Yeah.
shirt,
Our
but
our club is Central Florida Wrestling.
oh, I have that shirt also.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
And go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry to
oh,
interrupt you.
sorry. Oh, like I mentioned, I had gotten in contact with one of my friends, and she had like got me in contact with Basil. And since he does a lot of recruiting in Florida, he was there about like 2 weeks after I had first started talking to him, and he was very eager. He went out to dinner with me and my dad, and like he really like reassured me as well. So I think that was a big part, that like the actual coach was reassuring me and telling me like, hey, like the financials will help you out. We'll figure it out and how to get there and all of that stuff. Like he was very eager to help me.
Mhm.
Very nice. And there's always that transition from freestyle or from folk style to freestyle. How do you feel like the coaches at Nyack have done to help develop that?
Well, me personally, I've had a little bit of freestyle experience. I've been doing it for about 2 years before I started here. And I feel like the coaches do a good job of explaining the different rules. And we did a lot of top and bottom our first few weeks because a lot of the girls didn't know anything. So
Yeah, I think when we first, got into practice, it was a lot of focusing on, um, the laces and the guts and your offensive stuff. And then, um, thankfully, I have also had some freestyle experience, but a lot of the girls don't because high school is all folk style. So once we kind of got the offense down, we started working on the defense, and I think they took it, I think they advanced it like really well.
Awesome. And how
I
about you?
think
You
one of
started
the
late. You started late anyway, right? So you only had a couple years of wrestling before getting
Yeah.
there. Now, sorry, Kiara, you started late, right? 2 years of wrestling, before.
yeah.
So what was it like to transition with that small amount of wrestling anyway to freestyle?
So thankfully, I had good high school coaches, and I would agree I had a little bit of experience. But I think the best thing that Basil made sure to do was transition us, but also remind us that a lot of the stuff that we already know, we can transition it. And he would show us different ways to kind of make our best move work even better in freestyle. Now that like we already had that time in folk style.
Nice. So Florida girls wrestling is growing quickly
Yeah.
and
Huge. Yeah.
fast. Sounds like you all had a pretty good experience. Was your all of your high school experiences really good with good coaching and just great experience in high school before coming into
Yeah.
wrestling?
yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
I think it was really hard. It was scary for me to come to college because I had such a good high school program and I had really great coaches. And, my biggest fear was what if I go to college and I have a crappy coach and I have a crappy team and I hate everyone. Thankfully, I have really great coaches. I love my team. So
Yeah,
we're
and
doing
one thing
good.
you said that kind of stood out is that you thought it'd be a nice transition going to the 2 year school before the 4 year school. But your last couple of meets have all been opens, and most of them are opens with the 4 year schools.
Yeah.
Even the
Yeah,
very first one, University of Iowa, is there. So you don't get a lot of opportunity to have that, different division. And actually, I think the JUCOs have been really solid, and they performed quite
Yeah.
well.
They
Um,
have.
this year, I believe, is the first year that not everybody gets to go to nationals. Top 15 get to go. Are you excited? Are you looking forward to trying to make that national team?
I
yeah.
definitely think, yeah, I definitely think it's a goal of all of ours to, try and be there.
Good, very good. So, what's each of your majors?
I'm a health science major.
Health
I'm
science.
animal ecology.
I'm an education major for secondary education.
Sounds like kind of all of you are probably going to have to look. Are you thinking about looking at a different school after your
Yeah, yeah,
experiences up
yeah.
here? Gotcha. So you're all three of you are open to have a school come recruit you then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Um, could each of you tell me just a little bit about your wrestling journey, maybe your high school coaches' names, any clubs that you were in, things like that?
I went to Gulf Breeze High School, and my coach was Jim Bird. He actually used to coach at Osceola. He coached Kira.
Yeah.
And then I went to Well Train. That was my club, coached by Ryan Blackwell. So
Nice.
So yeah, I started wrestling pretty late. I went to Harmony High School, like I said. Um, my coach was Chris McNichols, which he also coached my club, Central Florida Wrestling. Um, he did a really great job at taking a lot of young wrestlers and making sure that they got a lot of experience, a lot of wrestling time in the off season. And I think he was one of a big reason why I was able to go to college for wrestling.
Nice.
I went to Osceola High School in Kissimmee, Florida. And like she said, my first year, I got to be with Coach Bird. He ran an amazing program. Um, and with him was Coach Lesniewski, who was like the main girls coach. And they both ran like a great program that just, even though a lot of the girls were new and you didn't have, like, the sport was still growing. My first year was the first year that wrestling was sanctioned as well in Florida. So it was just a really good learning experience, especially coming into it. Like, I had no sports background before that at all. So it was a great program that also, like, it didn't stop when season ended.
Yeah.
Like, you still continued, you would still come to practice. Um, my Coach Lesniewski, was very like proactive in making sure that even off-season tournaments, he was taking us to those, and he was making sure we were getting that experience and getting out there. And it wouldn't matter if it would be like three girls and we went 0-2. Like, he just cared that we got some extra matches and we got to see some more people and get out there.
Yeah.
Nice. So Florida, I'm asking this as a high school coach in Iowa. I was in the Freedom High School's room a couple times. I knew some of the girls, but when I got there, it was still during school. They actually had, I think their last period of the day, their instead of having like a physical education class, if you were in a sport, you would actually be in that. And I think some of them were in wrestling year round. Is that how it is in all schools in Florida? Is that unique to maybe the city? I don't
I
know. Did you
I
guys
never
have?
had that.
You never had that. Okay.
No.
I was curious. I didn't know because I was like, wow, this is pretty crazy that they're actually in school and we're doing wrestling practice right now.
We did what we did have a weightlifting class. And
Hmm.
I did weightlifting in high school. So if you were a weightlifter and you happened to be in weightlifting, you could do, your weightlifting workout, but that was kind of all we had on that.
I had
Awesome.
a 6 period wrestling class with Coach Bird.
Okay.
And so we would do mental stuff and then like watch film, we'd lift, we'd run, and then Fridays sometimes we would pull out mats and wrestle. So
Nice.
Um, at Osceola, we did have a wrestling class as well, but ours was first period,
Oh,
um,
what a
which is
horrible
pretty
thing.
fun.
Because then you get
Um,
all sweaty and have to go wash your hair and all that fun stuff. That would be, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but at least you're bright and early, get to lift some weights and stuff like that. So we would do similar things, watch film and things like that. I was very appreciative to have that.
mhm.
Nice. So I keep talking about my friend Jason Lloyd, who's the AAU director in Iowa. We keep saying we're going to move to Florida. Where should we move to Florida? Where should we go?
The West Coast.
West
No.
Coast, you think? Okay.
West Coast is better than East.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gulf.
The
Gulf
Gulf,
is the
yeah.
best.
Okay.
I think where Lily lives is the nicest out of all of us.
If you want the
Uh,
best beach in Florida, go to Pensacola.
Yeah.
Pensacola. All right. So
Yes.
I'm limited on my experience there. I've been to Daytona, and it was okay.
Hmm.
We stay every year now since the tournament, since Scholastic Duel switched. We stay in Lauderdale by the sea, and I
Fort
really like
Lauderdale is,
Lauderdale.
is nice, yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we're a little north of there, so it's kind of a small town feel. It's kind of nice.
Hmm.
And then I've been to what's the Canaveral Beach is the only other one, and that's kind of a small one too. So that's all I know of Florida. So we'll have to go West Coast then, which is crazy to say that I mean, you're one of the only states. You might be the only state that has an East and West Coast. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think
I
so.
can't
Or
think. I
that
can't
makes
think of another
sense.
state. I can't think of another state that has an East and a West Coast. That's cool. Well, let's get to know you a little bit better on some other things. Uh, Wrestlers love to eat, right? My guilty pleasure food. I love ice cream. I could eat that. It should be its own food group. What are each of your guilty pleasure foods?
I'm gonna agree with you on ice cream. And then also one of my favorite things is cinnamon rolls.
Cinnamon
Cinnamon.
rolls. What flavor of ice cream?
I like vanilla with a bunch of toppings. It's my
Nice.
favorite.
Nice.
Or a hot fudge sundae from anywhere. That's like
Me, I'm just a big chocolate person. It doesn't really matter what it is in, just
Does
chocolate, period.
milk chocolate, dark chocolate, doesn't matter chocolate.
Milk chocolate, I think, for the most part.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like all the sugary drinks is where I cheat. Like, really sugary coffees. I'm not getting like a black coffee. I'm definitely getting like a caramel frap or something. Like, it's barely coffee.
Yeah, barely coffee. Very nice.
Yeah.
What's what's the biggest weight cut either any of you have had to do?
You probably got the worst one.
Yeah.
Um, I've cut around 10 pounds in 3 days one time. I do not recommend it at all.
Yeah, I think mine might be worse than I did 12 in 5 days. Something somewhere around there.
I was doing 10 like each week my
Yeah.
senior year
Yeah.
to make weight
My senior
like
year,
consistently.
yeah, my senior year it was around 10 each week. I would
Mhm.
float
So
pounds.
I know I just actually had the guy from Eakin Nutrition came to my high school. Eakin does nutrition for like Grandview, for Wartburg, Northern Iowa, like 5 or 6 different college universities. Uh, their plan is to not have you cut weight.
Mhm.
How has Niacc been about nutrition plans, preparing you for maybe more weight maintenance instead of cutting weight?
They definitely encourage us not to cut weight. I was planning on going 117 this year, and I ended up bumping up because our coaches were so like insistent on feeling better and not
Yeah.
dying. Um, but they definitely encourage us to eat healthy. Like, if we go to the dining hall, we always get grilled chicken, salad, whatever vegetable they have,
Mhm.
lots and lots of water. That's something they encourage.
I also came here with a pretty low weight class in mind. I really wanted to go 131. In high school, I wrestled 140. So it didn't seem like that big of a jump. But I did end up bumping up 2 weight classes up to 145. Just because I certified at 131 and just getting down to that was awful on like my mental health. So
Hmm.
I was like, I don't think I can do this for, all season. Um, so I kind of just I eat healthy. I kind of sit at, whatever weight my body wants me to. We have a great athletic trainer. His name is Mark. He gives great insight on, what we should be eating and how much weight we should be cutting, which really they don't want us cutting any weight, but um I have I had a weight cut, progression plan. So yeah, they do a good job of monitoring our weight and what we eat and all that and our health.
I was gonna mention the same thing, like having Mark with us, he is an amazing person to go to and talk to because he will keep it straight, but he'll also help you like, hey, these are nutritional things that you could eat and stuff like that. Like, don't starve yourself, which is some things that wrestlers could go through. Like, there's a different way to do that and a smarter way to do that and still feel healthy and wrestle like your best. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best things I've heard this year, and it actually came from the guys from Eakin. Um, so we take 2 people that are going to wrestle, and they both cut 20 pounds to compete at a weight that is not safe for them. Not they don't feel good. They're not as healthy. They're not as strong, and we don't get as good a. They're just not as good athletes at that weight. So Why wouldn't we just build that person into the weight that they should be with good nutrition and weightlifting and stuff? It makes zero sense to cut all that weight to wrestle weaker and slower and not as well. So that's where I'm leaning to. So all of you are in Florida, or you're from Florida anyway. So for me, dream vacation is hitting the beach in Florida. That's what I like to do. But where would you guys like to have vacations at?
I'm gonna say Italy or Greece, anywhere like that. I think the Mediterranean is just like beautiful.
Nice.
I think I kind of agree on that. I think, yeah, Mediterranean area. Yeah.
I would go to Japan. I'm a big like foodie. I would love some sushi and different foods over there and just see a different culture.
Yeah, you can't trust Iowa gas station sushi, man. Don't trust it.
No, no,
That's
no.
actually another concern I had coming up here was like obviously in Florida we have super fresh seafood
Yeah.
and I come up here and I'm like looking at seafood and I'm like, is this safe to eat?
Yeah. But we have way better beef, right? So, you got to make
Yeah,
got to
true.
make that
Yeah.
concession there. Um, not the organization, not that, but that's not what I'm going to ask here. But what do you think it means to wrestle like a girl?
Um, I think it means to have like build a strong mentality to jump a lot of hurdles and a lot of new things. Cutting weight for girls is more difficult than it is for guys. We don't lose as much weight during practice or floating when we go to sleep, and like it's tough, and it's also learning a new sport that is constantly growing, like that does not stop growing, changing, evolving. The competition, like it's not something that you can really study and just like see one part and just stick with that. Like you have to see all the changes that keep coming up and like all of the competition that keeps changing up on us.
Mhm. Um, I kind of agree on that. I think girls wrestling being so new, a lot of people kind of base it off of boys wrestling, which girls are very biologically different than guys. We carry our weight different, we move differently. If you watch girls and boys wrestling, you can tell girls wrestle very different from guys. And so I think it's just being able to adapt and do your own thing and don't be afraid to try new things. And yeah.
I'm gonna agree with both of those and say that you have to be very adaptable and push through things that maybe some other people don't have to go through and just be tough.
Yeah, it's a whole
So
different sport.
it is, and I've been coaching it for this is my 11th year of coaching girls. So
Mm-hmm.
everything you said when I started, it was coach just like a boy, and then I
Yeah.
realized very quickly that nope, we can't do that. And then
Yeah.
but I would never ever go back and coach boys. I just it's not
Really.
anything I would ever do again.
That's
Last question. Go ahead.
sorry. That's one thing I appreciated about my high school coach was he knew how to coach girls well. We were in the room with our boys most of the time who had their own coach. And he was a great guy, super knowledgeable about wrestling, but I don't think he could have coached girls as well. Just because I don't know, it's two very different styles of coaching, I think.
two different it's two different types of bodies on the mat as well. Like we just
Yeah.
wrestle differently. Like it's different moves and just different things that happen on the mat.
Definitely. And
Tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. I'll let you go. But am I right or wrong on this? Like guys, when I coached guys, especially when I first started, I always felt like I had to be the best wrestler in the room to be the coach, so they respected me as an athlete. When I started coaching girls, I had to earn their trust because until they trusted me, I didn't feel like they.
Yes.
Am I
Yeah.
right there? With guys, you
Yeah,
got to earn
Yes.
respect. Girls, you have to earn
Yes.
trust.
definitely.
Beautiful.
I definitely agree with that.
I've kind of experienced this myself. If I don't trust you, um, then I'm not as willing to listen to you. Even
Yeah.
if I know
Yeah.
you're a great wrestler and you're the best in the room, I'm not, gonna take as much from it if I don't trust you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I need to have like a strong connection with like my coach, and I need to make sure that I'm like explaining to him and I feel heard, like feeling heard, especially by our coaches when
Hmm.
I tell him different needs. Like one of my things is I'm very big on like I need him in my corner, not a different coach. And so I tell him that that's very important to me, and he's always been a great listener and very like reassuring about it.
Yeah. And another coach that I didn't mention, Austin Elliott, he was our girls coach and he was also my best friend's dad that was on the team. And he definitely created a great relationship with all the girls and he understood all the stuff we do and how different we are from boys. And yeah.
Yeah, that was actually not planned, but I'm glad we talked about that because that was good stuff. Last question. Girl comes up to be recruited. What are you going to tell her about your program and about the school? Why should she come to Niacc?
I think that all the coaches have your best interest in mind on and off the mat. They always are asking us about our academics and how our day went, and we have study tables every Wednesday, and the coaches definitely care about you and want you to succeed.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. our coaches are very involved in our lives, even outside of wrestling. And they genuinely do care about, us as people and our health. And, if you need tutoring, you have the resources. If you need, help with your diet or your mental health, here's where you can go. Um, and I think they've also done a good job of creating a good atmosphere within the team. I think, our whole team has a pretty good relationship with each other, which I'm super grateful for as well.
I would agree with all of that, and I would add like you said, we have a great team, but we have a lot of like diversity as well. Like we have girls from all over the place. So it makes it a little bit less scary because you have people around that are going through the similar things. We all feel a little homesick at times. We're all so far from family at different times and stuff like that, and that can be really hard. But knowing that other people are like going through that with you and you have other people to talk to about that is amazing. And the fact that like um, our school is really nice and our dorms are extremely nice. We have places that we can gather together and watch a movie or play games and stuff like that. And I think we've done a great job of that, like
Yeah,
throughout the year
I
too.
think the school, even, leaving wrestling out of it, we go to a very nice school as far as community colleges go. We have a great a great dining hall, great dorms. Um, they do lots of cool social activities. So even outside of wrestling, it's a great place to be, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you guys very much. Really enjoyed getting to know. Well, I've known Emalee for a little while, but really getting to know you. If you have extra room for me to come home for Christmas, I'd be really willing to leave Iowa for that. I would be definitely fine with that. But I'm going to let you go tonight. You guys probably got to get back to studying or something. And again, thank you very much.
Of course,
Thank
you're welcome.
you.
Good talking.